Hello, YouTube. I'm back. This is Beverly, and I'm back again to bring you another enticing chapter of Gezebel, my novel. So, right now, we're going to talk about chapter 6, okay? A lot has happened since we went through the last two chapters. By now, I hope you got the book so you could follow along on this travesty of a family situation that's just going to blow your mind, okay? So let's get into chapter 6. Here we go. So, chapter 6 of Gezebel. Ernest pondered Jeffrey's wife, Cece, and smirked at the blue black color of her skin. Cece was a posh, dishy looking woman, but as far as he was concerned, she was too damn black. He would never marry someone so dark, no matter how impressive her background was. What was Jeffrey thinking? At least Corinne was white, and that had to be a feather in his cap, Ernest thought. Jeffrey might have done better in the eyes of their father's family if he declared himself a Nancy boy instead. A Nancy boy. A silly image of Jeffrey walking and sashaying his hips like a girl played in Ernest's mind, and he burst out laughing. He's a brute of a brother, isn't he? Patrons stared at him curiously. He would have given anything to be there when Jeffrey had the gall to introduce his jiggeroony teapot to the St. John clan. He's outrageous. He would have forfeited his inheritance to witness the expression of disbelief on their faces when Miss Jungle Bunny walked in the door. Isn't he a brute? A brute. Ernest laughed hysterically at his insensitive thoughts, and patrons realized that he was officially on the piss. So they chuckled and looked away. The beastly laughter subsided, and Ernest considered his own ethnicity. Even though he and his siblings had a touch of the tar brush, it was no excuse for Jeffrey to find himself a tar baby from the motherland. He gulped the gin in one swallow, and some of it spewed out of his mouth when he started to guffaw again. He just started laughing all over again. Outrageous. Mm, mm. Imagine what Black Lives Matter would do to him in this woke world we're in, right? His little brother sure did think in an anti clockwise manner when it came to women. Ernest was in hysterics. He held his gut, doubled over, and laughed loud. Why couldn't his little brother give Miss Thick Lips, a good bang and move on? Ernest snickered with insanity when he realized that Thick Lips was derogatory of Cece's ethnicity and possibly her womanhood. He stood up on rickety legs and hollered belligerently at the top of his lungs, "No pun intended, ladies and gentlemen." Patrons shook their heads and laughed at the drunken man. Ernest plopped down in his chair and placed his head on his arms in an effort to hide his face from patrons who leered at him for behaving lawlessly. The manager of the pub walked briefly over to Ernest. "Sir, may I help you get a taxi?" the pub manager offered. He was anxious to get this drunkard out of the pub before he caused another scene. Not bleeding likely, Ernest yelled. An outrageous person, isn't he? Ernest eased up his leg to blow off and laughed hysterically at his shameless act. Can you imagine that farting in someone's face? Like, no shame in his game about anything. The pub manager turned up his nose at the offending stench and requested Ernest control his outbursts or leave. Ernest thought the pub manager's speedy recoil from the skunk like odor was well worth the effort. He tossed money for his drinks on the table and left the pub. If he was able to coordinate his movements properly, he would have knuckle sandwiched the pub manager. His tall frame swayed like a skyscraper caught in the powerful winds as he shuffled down high pavement street. He laughed like an insane man, and passers-by quickly got out of his way. Ernest cussed and laughed pugnaciously all the way home. Yes, so like I told you, my book, Gezebel, will make you angry. It'll make you sad. It'll make you laugh. And it'll make you cry. And it just might make you cuss. So here we see in this multiracial family, there's also, unfortunately, some racism going on. Okay? So buy the book. You won't want to put it down. There are just so many twists, turns, plots. Not to mention, really harsh realities, that each member of this family are forced to deal with, and are really quite out and open with the way they feel about things. Get Gezebel. You won't regret it, and you will definitely enjoy it. Until next time, let's move on to the next chapter. Bye bye.